Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tequila B with TruLuv Designz, and today it's about that summer jumpsuit. Yeah. This pattern is McCall's M7910. It is described as a Mrs. Jumpsuit. These numbers mean that you can mix and match these different bodices with the pants bottoms. They are different. You have your one shoulder, your halter, and then you have your plunging neckline. I do have the jumpsuit that I made with this pattern, and I chose to do the plunging neckline. One, because I really liked it. Number two, because it is a bodice that I am going to use for an inspiration video to make a garment that my husband suggested for me. So stay tuned for that because that'll come somewhere down the line. I haven't decided yet. But back to this pattern, it comes in sizes 6 to 22, and suggested fabrics are two-way stretch knits with at least 50% cross grain, such as jersey, interlock, velvet knits, novelty knits. It does require lining, and it suggests a tricot lining. I almost didn't line it, but I say, you know what, let me go ahead and make this pattern the way that it is supposed to be made, right? So I've never done a lining before, so this is my first time, and I'm actually quite pleased with it because it keeps you from having to make those finishes and do hems in certain areas and things like that. So I really did appreciate that about this pattern. I did not use the tricot lining. I just used the same fabric that I used for the main fabric of my jumpsuit, and I believe this is a jersey knit. Yeah, this is a jersey knit. So I put together, now, let me tell you this, okay? So for the, actually, let me find the pattern because I want to make sure that I am telling you right. Because there is a discrepancy with this and I had to figure that out. One moment. So most people will tell you to read the full instructions of any sewing pattern that you are suggesting starting, and I would definitely recommend that with this pattern as well. I'm so glad I did because I was kind of shocked when I opened up the pattern because I'm looking at this and this tells you that bodice 1 plus pant 4 gives you this look. But when you're actually looking at the instructions, the bodices are numbered 1, 2, 3. The pants I thought would be numbered 4, 5, and 6, but they are also numbered 1, 2, and 3. So I was kind of surprised when I saw that, but glad that I did read through all of the instructions before starting, because that way I knew which instructions to follow and it didn't really throw me off because I was already aware of that. So definitely read your instructions and make sure that you don't run into any surprises along the way. Now, I really love making this, like I said, the lining, cut out making those finishes, and it was a pretty easy project, but let me tell you what happened. So you know how I always talk about my sleeve dyslexia? Well, that is not the only thing that I get dyslexic with sometimes. When it comes to pants, I know how to construct them and I know how they should go. But when it comes to actually doing it, sometimes when I'm looking at the pattern instructions, it throws me off. So instead of me just doing it the way I know to do it, I'm trying to really follow the instructions. And sometimes the illustrations aren't matching up with what I know in my head. And I get a little off somewhere. And that's exactly what happened with the pants of this jumpsuit. I can't tell you how many times I ripped the seam apart because I sewed the front and front together for one leg, or I sewed the side seam with, it was just too many things. I did use my serger for this project for the pants because I just knew it would be, hey, simple, and serger's faster, right? But I had to redo my pants 3 times. And do you think I bothered with cutting those serger stitches? Absolutely not. I took my rotary cutter and I cut that seam right on off. So I can't tell you really what size I made in these pants because I cut them like 3 times. From the inseam, from the side seam, I just cut because I didn't want to fool with ripping out those serger stitches. I did come out with a good fit for the pants, so it's probably a good thing that I did. And the size that I made in this pattern is actually, I believe I made a 12 or a 14. I can't remember. I should have looked at my pattern pieces. I'm sorry. I made a 14 in this. 2 new skills that I did learn with this project was using a lining and making pleats. But I did have to make some adjustments to the pattern because I think this is like for a person around 5'7" or so. I took off 7 inches from the pants, but I did not make an adjustment for my bodice, which I should have because the bodice was pretty baggy. But I had already put this together, not even thinking about adjusting the bodice, and I wasn't about to start over. And I was not going to scrap this jumpsuit because I liked it. So what I did was I put it on inside out, see how it fit me, and I just gathered up the excess material here at the shoulders, and then I just cut that off and sewed it back together inside out, right sides together like you would normally do, and I feel like it fit me fine. Now here I'm not sure if it's the bra that I have on today with it, which I think it is, but if you see this, these are the pleats and they should be a little further down, so they're looking kind of like darts or like princess seams, but I'm okay with that, and I am going to wear this. Totally fine. I know what to do next time, and I know probably taking the fabric here out of the shoulders like I did was not the proper way to make the adjustment, but it worked for me, and I'm totally fine with that. I absolutely love this pattern. The instructions were easy to follow. Absolutely easy to follow. I did make some mistakes along the way. Like I said, I'd never done a lining before. So when it came to doing the lining and top stitching on certain parts, the instructions and what I was looking at in front of me was not working together with each other. So I did have to go back in some parts and do some things like the edge stitching for all of the pieces. But that was minor and I got over that. I thought I was gonna have to start over, but I didn't. I just went on, kept it moving, and I got through the project. The next one that I am considering making is a one shoulder, and I want to do the halter as well. My cause patterns are a little bit easier to sew up for me than some of the simplicity patterns. I like the McCall's patterns, I will say. But anyways, keep sewing as always. And until next time, see it, make it, slay it.